Hello everyone, welcome to JP Counselor. I'm JP, and today we'll be discussing Christian versus secular definitions of psychopathology. What is normal versus abnormal? Once again, my name is JP. So today we're going to be discussing the difference between the Christian versus the secular worldview when it comes to psychopathology. The Christian world has long thought of psychopathology and abnormalities as a punishment for sin or as a result of demonic possession. So there's some relevant verses, relevant stories that can justify or back this opinion up. The relevant stories include God's warning of striking madness into the people of Israel if they disobey him in Deuteronomy 28:28. I referenced that in the New American Standard Bible from 1995, which the original work in 1971. Some Christian groups view abnormalities of mental health to be strictly a biblical issue, strictly sin or demonic possession, and that the Bible is the sole approving authority and the only source of treatment for those individuals. Now, there's other groups of the Christian world that believe that counseling is okay. However, counseling may be the only treatment that can be provided. No further treatment can be provided in the traditional medical sense. And still, there's even others out there that believe that all or some medical techniques like medication or surgery or other treatments may be an effective treatment for mental health conditions or for abnormalities. The secular world is in direct contrast. The 2022 Ozin article on abnormal mental health examines normal versus abnormal throughout history. And so Ozin's tone in that article is very demeaning, or looking down upon the barbaric treatment that religion has cast upon the mental health community, in the sense of torturing people or locking people up and things like that, that he claims that these are barbaric practices that religion has cast upon the world. Looking at the 2022 Ozin article, he looks into the history and the origin of mental health diseases. It all goes back to Hippocrates prior to Jesus in the late BC years before Jesus came. Hippocrates looked at mental health as a disease of the brain, and one that was manifested by mania, melancholy, or brain fever. Many have attempted to define normal versus abnormal since then. Sigmund Freud defined it as deviating from normal behavior manifested through common sexual malfunctions. And according to Ozin, in the 2022 Ozin article, some choose to focus on mental healthiness versus abnormalities, such as Seligman, who is the pioneer of positive psychology. At the end of the day, the 2022 Ozin article admits that while there's a clear line between mentally healthy versus mentally sick, defining what is normal is extraordinarily difficult. This explains why we're on the 5th edition of the DSM, and it's been less than a century. I see the Bible as defining mental health as a form of spiritual health. In fact, when we break down the word psychopathology, the word psyche in Greek or Latin means soul, where pathology means the study of the nature of a disease or disease process. The study of the nature of the disease of the soul. The Christian world views that abnormality is a deviation from God's plan for our lives, or a punishment for the sin that we do, or maybe even a consequence of the sin that we commit. Whereas the secular world views this as a result of a chemical imbalance or a physical problem or genetic issue. I believe that the answer is somewhere in the middle. We talked about psychopathology being the study of the nature of the disease of the soul. I believe that this answer's got to be somewhere in the middle. You can be born with a genetic abnormality, You could have a chemical imbalance, which leads to issues, but that can also be combined with or exacerbated by disobeying God's law. The important concept to remember is that it's ever changing. Psychopathology, psychology is ever changing. And in order to be successful in the field and give the best quality treatment to the clients that we are seeing, we have to be willing to change with the system, implement new forms of traditional medicine with our patients and our clients, as well as embrace pieces of our past. That's all I have for today. So I look forward to hearing your replies, and I'll talk to you all soon.